Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're going way beyond the headlines to really dig into Microsoft's second quarter results. You know, those 10Q numbers for fiscal year 2024.
Think of it as going behind the scenes to see what's really driving their strategy and what it means for the future of, the whole tech landscape.
Love that. So right off the bat, everyone's talking about that 18% revenue jump. We're talking a massive $62.02 billion compared to the same time last year.
Yeah.
But I have a feeling it's about more than just selling more Xboxes, right?
You hit the nail on the head. This isn't just business as usual. It's a sign that their big strategic shift is working, especially when you look at one area.
The cloud.
You're in my mind.
Server products and cloud services are absolutely exploding, up by a huge 22%. Now, we both know Azure, their cloud platform, is leading that charge.
Exactly. Microsoft isn't just that old office software on your computer anymore. They're becoming like the operating system for how businesses run in this digital world, and Azure is at the heart of it all.
This is huge. Okay, but get this. Gaming revenue just went through the roof, a ridiculous 49% increase. Remember that Activision Blizzard acquisition we talked about?
That's right, and it's already having a massive impact. Their Xbox content and services alone are up a staggering 61%. This shows how Microsoft is becoming a major player, not just in tech, but in the entire entertainment industry.
Now, that's what I call a power move. But it's not just about these big acquisitions, right? Remember we were prepping, you mentioned pro forma results. What does that even mean?
So imagine looking at their financials as if that Activision deal happened a year ago. Those pro forma numbers, they'd be even higher, like a mind-blowing $62.297 billion. And this isn't just a one-time thing. This is about setting themselves up for long-term success.
It's like they're playing chess while everyone else is stuck on checkers.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got this incredible growth story going on. But what about their classic products like good old Microsoft Office? Those must still be doing well, right?
Absolutely. Office is the definition of slow and steady wins the race. They've moved a massive amount of users to the cloud with Office 365 Commercial, which saw a solid 17% revenue increase.
It's like they found the secret to never-ending income in the productivity world. But even with all this success, it feels like there are some challenges ahead, right? I mean, the competition in tech is fierce. And then there are those cybersecurity threats that seem to get worse every day.
You're spot on. The report actually highlights the growing danger of these cyber attacks, even mentioning a recent incident. Apparently, state-sponsored hackers went after them. And this isn't just a Microsoft problem, it's a global issue we all have to deal with.
It does feel like a constant battle, you know. As soon as you build a wall, they find a new way to climb over it. But honestly, if any company has the resources and the smarts to stay one step ahead, it's got to be Microsoft.
And that's where their massive investment in artificial intelligence comes in. And that's where things get really, really interesting.
Okay, you said it yourself. AI is where things get really interesting. So tell me more. What's the 10Q? Tell us about Microsoft's AI strategy.
They are going all in, no question about it. I'm talking massive research and development, not just adding a few AI features here and there.
So it's not just about making Cortana sound a bit smarter. It's a lot bigger than that.
Way bigger. It's like this. Microsoft thinks AI is going to be as big as the internet. They're making it part of everything. Azure, Office 365, the whole thing, making it smarter and more connected.
Hold on. Give me an example here. How are they actually using AI right now?
Take Office 365. They're using AI to help you write better emails, make your presentations better, even get rid of those boring, repetitive tasks. It's all about making you more productive, not replacing you entirely, yet.
Okay, I get how that's useful, but it almost sounds kind of, I don't know, expected. You said transformative. What about the really futuristic stuff?
That's where Azure comes in. They're using AI for everything, from giving businesses predictions to giving developers these crazy, powerful machine learning tools. We're talking AI that can analyze mountains of data, find patterns we could never even imagine, even make decisions instantly.
Whoa. Okay, now that's what I'm talking about. But let's be real for a second. With great power comes, well, the 10Q doesn't exactly ignore the potential downsides of AI, does it?
Not at all. They know about the ethical issues, the potential for bias, even the possibility of stuff happening that nobody planned for. It's good they're aware of the risks, honestly.
It's one thing to chase the shiny new thing. It's another to actually think about the consequences. So are they being cautious then?
Cautious, yeah, but also strategic. They're putting a lot of money into making AI development responsible, trying to get rid of bias and make sure this tech is used for good. They get it. People need to trust AI if it's going to be everywhere.
It's like they're trying to write the instruction manual for this spaceship they're building at the same time. Speaking of spaceships, this AI thing sounds expensive. How are they paying for all of this?
Well, last quarter, they spent a whopping $7.142 billion on R&D, a 4% jump from last year, and that's on top of the Activision acquisition. They are putting their money where their mouth is, that's for sure.
Okay, so they're spending a ton, but are they actually making money?
Now that's the million-dollar question. Their finances look pretty good right now, though of course that doesn't guarantee anything in the future. Remember those unrealized losses on their investments that we talked about?
Yeah, because of the crazy interest rates, right? Remind me how that works again.
It's like this. Microsoft, like tons of companies, invest some of their cash in bonds. When interest rates go up, those bonds, especially the ones with lower rates, they're not worth as much anymore. And that's how you get unrealized losses, meaning they haven't actually lost any money unless they sell those bonds at a lower price.
So it's more like a loss on paper for now.
Precisely. And Microsoft seems to think those investments will eventually go back up in value. But it's definitely something to watch, especially with everything in the economy being so unpredictable.
Speaking of unpredictable, let's talk about that big IRS audit. The 10Q mentions that the IRS is after them for a whopping $28.9 billion in taxes.
Yeah, that's a big number, even for a company like Microsoft. They're fighting it, of course, but this audit throws a bit of a wrench in things.
Talk about a real-life game of Monopoly. Just when you think you're about to win, bam, luxury tax.
Yeah.
But hey, at least it's not like they're going bankrupt over it, right?
Definitely not. But it is a reminder that even giants like Microsoft aren't above financial and regulatory hiccups. This audit could go on for a while and, it might even impact their bottom line down the road.
Makes you realize that even with all this talk about AI and the cloud, the real world still has a way of throwing curveballs. Okay, so we've covered a lot, from Microsoft's AI dreams to the potential roadblocks. But before we get too ahead of ourselves, I want to go back to something you said earlier about Microsoft building an ecosystem. What did you mean by that?
Yeah, ecosystem, it gets thrown around a lot, but with Microsoft, it kind of fits. It's not just about selling you a bunch of separate products anymore. It's about plugging you into their whole network.
Okay, I see what you mean, like how Apple has their whole thing,
Yeah.
right? You've got your iPhone, MacBook, AirPods. It all just works together.
Exactly. Except Microsoft's not just focused on your gadgets. They want to be part of your work, your home, everything. They want Azure to be running businesses behind the scenes, Office 365 to be your go-to for getting stuff done, and Xbox for when you clock out. And what ties it all together, you guessed it,
Yeah.
AI.
So they're not just selling products, they're creating a whole Microsoft-powered world.
Exactly. They're betting that if they make everything work together seamlessly, people will stick with them and it'll be harder for the competition to keep up. Think about it. If you're already using Azure at work and Office 365 at home, why not just use Xbox for gaming too? It just makes sense.
It's like they're creating their own gravity. Well, once you're in, you're in. But isn't that risky? What if one part of it fails?
No, that's the billion-dollar question. It's definitely high risk, but also high reward. If they pull it off, they could be on top of the tech world for a long time, but they have to keep innovating and staying ahead of the game. And most importantly, people have to keep trusting them.
That's a lot to handle.
Yeah.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into Microsoft's 10Q, what's the main takeaway for our listeners?
I think the big thing to remember is that Microsoft is playing a different game now. They're not just a software company anymore. They're all about the cloud. They're a big player in entertainment, and they're pioneers in AI. And one more thing, they're playing to win.
They are not messing around. This 10Q wasn't just about the numbers. It was a sneak peek into their vision for the future. And like we talked about, that future has some amazing possibilities, but also some big question marks.
Absolutely. We've covered a lot today, but it's really just scratching the surface. If what you heard today got you thinking, don't stop here. Keep digging, keep asking questions, and keep exploring the world of tech because it's not slowing down anytime soon.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into Microsoft's 10Q filing. Until next time, keep learning, keep exploring, and keep diving deep.